Hi all, welcome to today's session on solar concentrators. My name is Anna Thomas. I'm an assistant professor from the Department of Renewable Energy of St. Albert College, Autonomous. So before beginning solar concentrators, there is another topic or another headline we need to focus more on. This is called a solar collector. So what is a solar collector? You need to know. Only then you can get inside a solar concentrator. Okay. So solar collector is any device which has the ability to collect the sun's rays. Okay. So sun's rays collecting any device can be called a solar collector, but they can be used in different types. There are certain collectors which just take the radiation as it is and uses for different applications. There are also collectors which will take the radiation and try to focus it or bring it to a certain point or increase its intensity and then use it. So depending upon the difference of usage, we have different types of solar collectors. One is the solar non-concentrating solar collectors and the other is concentrating solar collectors. So here in today's session, we will be dealing only with concentrating solar collectors, or we can say solar concentrators. They are the ones which will they just not capture the energy and use as it is, but they try to bring it to a certain point. They try to concentrate. Concentrate means you are focusing the radiation into a particular area and then using it. So that is what a solar concentrator is all about. So it has its own advantages because you are using it at a very high temperature. But whereas in a non-concentrator, whatever is available is used for different applications. So here we will be dealing mainly with solar concentrators. So as I said from the definition, it is a device which will collect the solar energy on a larger area and focus it on a smaller area. So the area on which the radiation falls is called the aperture. Okay, and from the aperture we are trying to focus it or concentrate it into a smaller area. Okay, so how do we do that? What is this additional feature that has to be inculcated in order to concentrate the radiation? It is definitely the use of optical devices. Optics, like you can use mirrors, lenses, refractive substances, etc. Those things will has the ability to focus the radiations to a particular point. So that is the additional feature of a solar concentrator. So we dealt with the definition. It is a device which is used to collect the radiation which falls on a larger area and focus it on a smaller area. So this is done using optical devices like reflecting or refractive materials, mirrors, lenses, etc. For this arrangement, we also need a tracking system because the sun keeps on moving, or it appears to us that the sun is in motion. Actually, it is not. The earth is moving, but from here it appears that sun is moving always. So because of that, we need to track the position only, then there is a point in concentrating. Simply just taking the radiation concentrating alone will not be of much use. Of course, there are concentrators which do that, but always a tracking arrangement which will track the position of the sun is going to be of greater advantage. So based on the tracking itself, there are two types. You can do it at a single axis, means either a horizontal axis tracking or a vertical axis, or both axes, horizontal as well as a vertical axis being tracked, or those both position of this tracking mechanism is used. In horizontal tracking, we are only tracking the radiation along the horizontal plane. In vertical means you are doing across the vertical plane. Both means the rotation as well as the tilt is also taken into consideration. Both the tracking can be done there. So that is about the introduction to concentrators. So which are the important parts a solar concentrator needs? As I said, it should have a collecting device, a collecting mechanism. This collecting things should be focused using the optics like lenses, mirrors or other refractive materials. Then there should be a tracking arrangement. So receiver is the collector system. Then there is a focusing system. Also there is a tracking arrangement. Okay, so this is just in a simple way it is depicted here. Radiation comes from the sun. This radiation falls on where? This is the collector system. This is called the aperture. Okay, so this aperture will have what? It will have certain optical devices or optical mechanism to focus the radiation onto the receiver. Receiver is always also called as absorber. So always remember that receiver is where from here we are utilizing the radiation for different applications. So always when the word receiver comes, you should remember that is the absorber. So receiver or absorber is a smaller area when compared to the aperture. Aperture is the collector. This collector is inculcated or inbuilt with certain optical system to focus the radiation to a smaller area. Okay, so this is how a concentrator looks like. So what are the advantages? From the brief introduction I gave itself, we can think about the basic advantages of a solar concentrator. One is definitely the efficiency increases because the intensity of solar radiation at a particular point, you are focusing into a very small area. A very small area is getting a huge temperature. So definitely the application for which it is being used is of great advantage. So efficiency is high. Very high temperatures, you can generate much higher temperature than a non-concentrated solar collector. So temperatures are high, the intensity of solar radiation is high, efficiency is high, then definitely the area which is being exposed. Here only a smaller area, as I said here, this is the area which is the absorber area or the receiver area. So the losses with respect to the area is less because only small area is there. So the losses that can happen from the small area is comparatively less. That is what is given in the second point. Due to the concentration on a smaller area, the heat loss area is reduced. Then the delivery temperatures are high. Temperature is high, intensity of solar radiation is high. The temperatures are the area that is being exposed or prone to loss is small because the absorber here is a very small area. Then what we have is the efficiency, as I said, the thermal efficiency is very high. These are the advantages. So you can now guess what could be the disadvantages. Here we have a tracking. What are the additional? Just imagine that additional things that come into a solar concentrator is you need a tracking system. You need to find out the position of the sun always. This tracking arrangement itself is a Herculean task. So that is going to mess up because you need to be very much technically advanced in it to track the sun. Next thing is we are involving a lot of optics into it. So these optics will means that is you are using lenses, mirrors, optical losses. It always prone to optical losses. You need to continuously maintain it because these optics, the lenses and mirrors can get easily prone to destruction. So that things have to be always kept in check. The losses have to be always taken into analysis when you compute the efficiency. So that is another one disadvantage. And the third one is naturally you're collecting it on a lot of complicated designs are coming. There is a tracking system, there are lenses, hence the system becomes complicated. So once the system is complicated means you're investing a lot into it. There are chances that the dust particles get accumulated on each of these tracking devices, on the lenses, mirrors. Once there is dust on the focusing things, there is no point in keeping them. So continuous maintenance is needed. A lot of money has to be spent into a concentrator, but definitely it comes with its own advantage of having much higher efficiency, much higher solar intensity, definitely higher concentration ratio. Okay, so these are the advantages and disadvantages. So generally when you speak about a solar concentrator, there are few terms that come into picture always. Of these we may not be able to discuss all of these points, but the most important ones we shall discuss. Okay, so these are called the characteristic parameters. These are the basic parameters which will be taken into consideration when you study a solar concentrator. One is the aperture area, there is acceptance angle, absorber area, concentration ratio. That itself there are two types. There is geometrical as well as local. Then we have optical efficiency, thermal efficiency and concentration ratio. These are the terms which will generally come across, which a person comes across when he studies about solar concentrators. So of which the most prominent 2 or 3 we will discuss in this class. First one is aperture area. Aperture area, if you need to get a better picture, I can explain like just imagine that the room in which you are staying or the room in which you are remaining now is a solar collector. Imagine. It is a device which collects the solar radiation. Suppose it is this room. This room has a ceiling. This room also has a floor, right? So when the solar radiation falls over on this ceiling, that ceiling is the aperture here, the area to which the solar radiation is falling or confronting for the first time. So that is the aperture. And at the aperture, we make some modifications. We keep some mirror arrangements, lenses, etc. so that the radiation which falls on the roof is being focused or reflected to a smaller area on the floor. So the area on the floor, maybe it could be just the size of a small tile. That is the absorber. And the area on the roof on which the solar radiation is first being confronted is the aperture. So that is being shown here. You can see the radiation coming. This radiation is first confronted by the aperture. There are a lot of concentrating devices here. This is represented here. It's called aperture area is represented as A into AA. So the aperture is exposed to it gets the first field of the sunlight and it is being concentrated using some optical devices and it is focused on a smaller area. So what is the other name of receiver? Other name of receiver is the absorber. Its area is represented as AR. One is AA. So that it is mentioned as aperture and receiver so that you do not get confused with the abbreviations. It is AA for aperture. Remember, it is not absorber here. Aperture is AA, and receiver, which is also called as absorber, is represented as AR. So that is the one of the characteristic parameters. Absorber area has also already been discussed here. The area which is being from this area we are taking the solar radiation. That is a much smaller area. This area will have the highest solar intensity. It will have very high temperatures. Okay. The third term is the concentration ratio. Now, ratio, we know it is always a numerator by denominator. Something, it is a fraction. It has a numerator and a denominator. It is a ratio of any two terms. So what are the two terms here? Concentration is being done. So it is a ratio of two areas. Which are the two areas which we studied here? One is the aperture and the other one is the absorber. So aperture is the area which is wide enough, which collects. That is the larger area, right? And absorber is the small area to which the whole of the radiation is being focused. So that is the absorber area, smaller area. So concentration ratio, we can express it in two terms. One is the geometric concentration ratio and the other one is the brightness concentration ratio. In general, the equation is aperture area divided by absorber area is the concentration ratio. Okay, so you can assume, we know which area is larger. Definitely the area at the numerator is larger for a solar concentrator. So as the aperture area increases substantially with respect to absorber, the concentration ratio will increase. It is always better to get higher concentration ratio. The higher, the better. Whereas if you consider a non-concentrator, example a flat plate collector. Flat plate collector is a non-concentrator. You are using the solar radiation as it is. There, both the areas are same. So, we can say that in aperture area, by absorber area is the concentration ratio, and in a solar concentrator, this CR will always be greater than 1. Whereas for a non-concentrator, this will be equal to unity. So, as the type of solar, there are different types of solar concentrators. As its complexity and the number of optics involved increases, the concentration ratio will naturally increase. Then the next term is thermal efficiency. We all know that thermal efficiency of any system is output by input, right? So here what is the input? Input is definitely the intensity, the I. It is represented by I. The incident solar radiation is I. And what is the output? Output is the heat that is being transported from this absorber. That is represented by Q. So efficiency, you can say eta is equal to Q, which is the output delivered through the absorber, divided by the input, which is the intensity I. So that is how in general we can measure the efficiency of any system. So these are the basic terms. I have not discussed all the terms in the characteristic parameters. We have only delved into what an absorber area is, what an aperture area is, the ratio of aperture to absorber. The big area by small area will give you the concentration ratio. It is a measure of how good your concentrator is. Then we have thermal efficiency. It is output by input. Q by I is equal to eta. Then we'll just delve into the basic classification of a solar concentrator. Broadly, they are classified into two types. They are focus type and non-focus type. Okay, and in this focus type itself, we have again further two types, which is tracking and non-tracking. So we can say that tracking concentrators again has one axis tracking and two axis tracking. So it is little lengthy, it could be a little confusing, but understand in general we have a solar concentrator. It can be classified into two. One is focus type, another one is non-focus type. Another names are non-tracking and tracking. And when you come into the focus is also called tracking. Focus itself can be one axis tracking or single point and dual axis tracking. Okay. So in this session, we will be dealing only with the basic one axis tracking. We are not going into non-tracking. Non-tracking we have already discussed in the previous class because it is just a modification of FPC. Basic FPC isn't a tracker, it is not a concentrator. When at the edges of the FPC, if you keep two mirrors, they will act as a non-tracking concentrator. Non-tracking means the position of sun is of no importance here. Okay, so we are dealing with only tracking concentrator. In that, we will deal with one axis tracking. One axis tracking are broadly of three types. One is fixed mirror solar concentrator. Then there is cylindrical parabolic. Third one is linear Fresnel. So we will go to the first type, which is the fixed mirror, which can be easily explained with the help of this diagram. As you can see, there are certain mirror strips, fixed mirrors. These are all small mirror strips which are placed in a focal circle. These mirrors are placed in such a way that the radiation falling on it gets reflected to the absorber. These are all tracking the sun, okay, but this doesn't move. This thing doesn't move. That is why the name fixed mirror. These mirror strips are already positioned. They are all narrow strips, and the solar radiation falls on these mirror strips, and these get reflected to the absorber. This absorber or the receiver is the movable part here. This will track the sun and move accordingly. This absorber is placed in such a position that the radiations are focused onto the absorber. Clear? So that is how a fixed mirror solar concentrator works. Hope it is clear. It is a single axis tracking, or you can say it is a line focus. In tracking itself, it can be point focus and line focus. Here only a single axis is being tracked, hence the name line focus. So it is being focused into this line. Here when you see in the figure, it could be just a point, but understand that it's an elongated tube. It's an absorber pipe is a pipe. It is a long tube. So the radiations that is being focused or being reflected from these mirror strips are focused onto this long tube. Hence the name fixed mirror strip solar concentrator. That is first type of single axis tracking solar concentrator. Then we have the second type, which is the cylindrical parabolic. We are only dealing with the three types. One is fixed mirror, second is the cylindrical parabolic, third one is linear Fresnel. Okay, so cylindrical parabolic also, it is very easy to explain with this diagram. You can see this is a cylinder, a cylindrical parabola is there. That is the aperture, or that is the reflector here. So solar radiations are first focused or first falling onto the aperture. From there, you are placing this. This is the absorber or the receiver. Always remember, absorber is same as receiver. Okay, the names could be changed in different textbooks or different scenarios. You might be confronting with the term absorber. Understand that it is the receiver. This thing is placed in the focal line. That means the solar radiation falls on the cylindrical parabola. Those rays falling on the parabola are focused onto this focal length or the focal line. On the focal line, we have placed this tube. So the radiations falling on the cylindrical parabola is focused on this tube. Okay, so this tube has the liquid or the air, whatever has to be heated, that fluid. It could be air heater, it could be water heater, or simply the heat from this could be used for any other applications, like in a furnace or in a solar cooker, etc. Because very high temperature can be attained using a solar concentrator. So this absorber tube is placed at the focal line. That is the important point. Okay, so that axis only being tracked. Radiation falls on the cylinder. From the cylinder, using this, it is a cylindrical parabola. That is the reflector here. This will reflect the radiation onto the focal length, and from there we take out the heat. Finally, moving on to the third type, which is called the Fresnel lens. Here, the letter S is silent. It is not Fresnel, but it is always read it as Fresnel lens concentrator. This is the third type of single axis tracking solar concentrator. The peculiarity of this lens is it is not a flat surface. It has little grooves. The grooves will enable the better focusing on a particular point or a length. Okay, so we have certain grooves. It can be reflecting or refracting type. There are two types of lenses. They have linear grooves. We call them linear. It can come on either on the behind side or on the top side. So the radiations fall on it. These grooves will reflect them onto the point. This point will have the receiver or the absorber. The absorber or the receiver is carrying the fluid which has to be heated. Air, water, or whatever material. It could even be the food. If it is in the case of solar cooker, the material to be heated can be placed at the focus point. The lens, each of these linear lenses will reflect them heat to this particular point. This is another arrangement where we are using reflecting Fresnel lens. Okay, same application. Solar radiation falls on these lens pieces. Each of these pieces will reflect it and focus it on the point. This point will have the material to be heated. So it is at an application level. It is shown here. We can see there is an absorber tube. This tube, as I said, will have the material to be heated. These are the reflecting mirrors, linear Fresnel lens. This will come and capture it, focus it on the absorber. Okay, so in today's session, what all we looked into, we saw what first a solar collector is. Solar collector is any device which can accept or capture the radiation. There are different types which in the way the radiation is being used. Some will focus it or concentrate it again. Some will use it as it is. The ones which is concentrated, we call them solar concentrators. Solar concentrators itself has its own advantages because we are making use of optics here. So optics will definitely improve the efficiency. You need a tracking arrangement. So it comes with its own disadvantages, which are it is higher on the maintenance side. You need to take into account the optical losses, etc. Then we delve into the different types of concentrators. Broadly, they are focus and non-focus. The focus type itself has single point focus and line focus, or we can say tracking and single tracking and dual tracking. We only dealt with the single tracking. In single tracking, there are three types. First one is the linear Fresnel, or the last one was the linear Fresnel lens. Then we delve into the cylindrical parabolic. Okay, cylindrical parabola means a parabola shape is there, and then it will act as the reflector or the aperture. Then also the third type, which is the third type was the fixed mirror, FMSC, fixed mirror strip solar concentrator. These are all tracking only across a length, a single axis being taken into consideration. Also, we delve into the most used terms. They are called the characteristic parameters. Absorber area, you need to know. Aperture area, you need to know what a concentration ratio is. The ratio of aperture area, the higher area, large area by small area. Aperture area to absorber area. So I hope the session is clear to you. See you in the next class. Thank you.